All right, y'all. Little disclaimer. I'm not feeling the greatest. My sinuses and allergies and all of that nonsense and foolishness decided that they wanted to pay me a visit. So you're gonna get some sniffing, some coughing, some hacking, maybe some sneezing. I'm sorry in advance. I'm not gonna keep like apologizing every time I sniffle or y'all heard me like blowing my nose or something. So I'm just gonna give a overall disclaimer of my bad. All right. So, with that being said, welcome back to the channel. Thank you for visiting and joining me on this lovely Saturday morning. Today is August 10th, 2019, and I want to talk about the Lion's Gate, right? Some would say I'm 2 days late, but actually, um, what Spirit was showing me is that the actual Lionsgate is going to be tomorrow, Sunday, August 11th. And here's why. If we are really going to talk about um, Lionsgate from an astrological standpoint versus a numerological or numerology standpoint, then it would be how the planets fall, or how not the planets fall, but how the planets align. And right now, we have uh, four planets that are about to be in Leo, right, as of tomorrow. So we already have the Sun in Leo, then we have Mars and Venus in Leo, and then tomorrow, Mercury will be in Leo also. Jupiter goes retro, or sorry, Jupiter goes direct tomorrow, and Uranus goes retrograde on the 11th, right? And then 11 um, would be, if we think in terms of tarot or tarot, whatever, uh, um, in original tarot, strength was number 11. It wasn't number 8. So strength would be the Leo card. It has the lion on it with the woman on there. Uh, Not necessarily taming the lion, but easing um, the, what am I trying to say? Easing the lion into submission. Okay, not necessarily, and it's really about gaining spiritual strength over the flesh. Okay, and that's really what the strength card is about. It's not necessarily about brute force as much as it is victory of spirit over the flesh. um, and then also from a numerology standpoint, um, or an astrological standpoint, truly Leo is the number 5. It's the fifth zodiac sign. It rules the fifth house. So if we are truly going to look at a lion's gate from a numerology standpoint, then the lion's gate would actually, or I keep saying numerology, from an astrological standpoint, then the lion's gate would be 5-5 and not 8-8. Okay, because right now in this timeline, we are not really going by a true astrological calendar. We are going by, what is it, the Gregorian calendar, and doing things via man-made time, a man-made time frame, and that's not truly factual. It's not to negate, the 8-8 Lionsgate, because that is kind of where we are right now. But in spiritual terms, if we are really going to talk about from a energetic standpoint in spirituality, then it would be. 5-5. And Leo deals with, like I said, the fifth house, which is creativity and like the house of children and romance. Leo, it rules the heart, so it's about love, right? And then you have Venus, um, the planet of love itself and pleasure and material things, that is in Leo until the 21st. Um, then you have the sun, like I said, which is your ego, your identity, your will. That is, and the sun is the ruling planet of Leo, and that's, naturally it's Leo season. Okay, so then you have Mercury, the planet of communication, your intellect, skill. That is in Leo as of tomorrow, August 11th. And Venus, or did I say Venus? I think I said Venus already. Mars, which is your energy, is also your will, your force, and then the challenges that you might face. That is in Leo until the 18th. Okay, so with all of those planets being in Leo, that would mark a true astrological Lionsgate. You have 4 planets in Leo, and they are planets that deal with things like love, communication, your skills, your force, your will, and those are all very important things to Leo, because Leo is a sign that is about leadership. And Leo is Leos have a feeling nature, right? So because they feel things out, they express things emotionally. It's not to say that they are emotional, because they are a fire sign. Okay, Leo is the sun, it's fire, but they feel. It's about feeling in love. It's the heart. So they are, or Leo is a feeling sign. So you're dealing with all of those things. Then you have Jupiter, the guru planet, the planet of research, expansion, and spirituality. I'm about to sneeze, y'all. Okay, false alarm. That goes direct on the 11th. Okay, and then you have Uranus, which is the planet of originality and progress, and how innovative you might be, how you create things aside or view things from a different standpoint. And sometimes Uranus can be like how you it's a planet of surprises. You might surprise yourself, and how you might surprise other people with how you do things, how creative you can be. And so that is going retrograde, and so it's a um, rethinking or redoing of something that you may or may not have um, paid attention to. Let me say, that would help you move forward. Okay, but then you have Jupiter, the planet of expansion and research, going direct on the 11th. 11 being being a master number in numerology, and it is a number of spirituality, becoming a spiritual teacher. It is also a number of leadership and self-awareness, right? So then if you just look at the date, 8/11/2019, we're in the 8th month. 8 is power and wisdom. Um, and then like actually expressing and putting that wisdom into practice, but um, doing it in a practical way, right? Because 8 carries a vibration of 4, and 4 is your structure, traditions, and practicality. I'm sorry, y'all, I need to blow my nose. Give me a second. Um, then also, uh, if you add the whole date up, it is a 22, which also carries a vibration of 4. But then 22 is also a master number, and it's about self-mastery and having limitless potential. So think about that with Uranus going retrograde. This is about you tapping into that limitless potential and that self-mastery, something that you might have missed mastering, and becoming more self-aware of those things. Okay. And then you have the year 2019. When you add that up, or add it up to break it down in numerology, it carries the vibration of a 3. And 3 is, your rationale, your creativity, optimism, and it's also the connection of mind, body, and spirit, or mind, body, and soul. So that, with all of those things combined, that is what would make 811 um, the true lion's gate, right? Versus if we are just thinking about um, numbers, a date. It's, if you think about aspects in uh, astrology, aspects with two, so it would almost be like a conjunct aspect, which is two or more planets that are in the same sign, or 10 degrees apart. But I don't really, I didn't look at the degrees for the 4 planets that are going to be in Leo. Um, but the point is that you do have 4 of your major planets, you know, um, that are going to be in Leo. Because when you think in terms of personality, what is it? Mercury is how you think and how you communicate. Um, Venus is how you love and how you seek love. And then you have Mars, which is, again, your energy and how you put yourself out in the world, where the sun is your personality overall. Okay, those are 4 major planets in terms of your personality and how you are affected throughout life, going into the sign itself of love and creativity. And you're thinking about children, and going into that energy of, or that childlike energy, seeing the world anew, fresh, letting go of old wounds, hurts, issues, any of those things, and going back to innocence, right? And being able to love unconditionally. Okay, so that is what would make the 11th a true Lionsgate portal, if we are talking in from an astrological standpoint, not from a numerology standpoint. And again, it's not to say that 8-8 was not a Lionsgate portal, because right now in this timeline, we say that Leo season is in the 8th month, but really the 8th month originally, before man decided to change the time frame, the 8th month is really the month of Scorpio. Okay, that would be a scorpionic lion, or a scorpionic scorpion gate, right? I was about to say a scorpionic lion's gate. Makes no sense. Anyway, so I'm not trying to downplay the fact that 8-8 was a lion's gate, but it was just 2 numbers, right? And when you think about it from a energetic level, and how the universe is aligning to shift patterns and cycles in the collective consciousness, then we would have to view it from an astrological standpoint. And also talking about love, right? I was talking to my twin, and we were talking about a host of things. Um, he's such an antagonist, tickles my whole little soul. But we were talking about love, and he brought up the fact that The heart doesn't have feeling. It is um, your stomach that gives you feeling. And I found this to be true, and actually it's so true that spirit woke me up out of my sleep to confirm like that this was a bit of information that was needed. Um, so our gut, that gut feeling, our gut gives us feeling. Our mind gives us thought, but our heart gives us love. So, and I've often stated that love is not an emotion. So our gut will cause us to feel a certain type of way. Our gut will cause us to feel fear, happiness, anxiety, um, just a host of things. And then it translates to our mind that we are feeling these things. But then our heart will do everything in its power to um, balance out whatever that emotion is, because love will cause you to act contrary to your emotions. I give the example of when you're mad at somebody that you love. If they're sick, they might have just pissed you off. But if they sick, you gon' go and get them that bowl of soup, even though your feeling is telling you, your emotion is telling you, don't go get them nothing. Like, I ought to just let you lay there and die and be sick and, suffer it out. But because I love you, I'm gonna go back here and get you this soup and make you this nice hot cup of tea. So love causes you to act contrary to your emotions. It is not an emotion. Your heart does indeed feel love, but your gut gives you your emotions. Okay, so I thought that that was very powerful and something that was actually pretty mind blowing. And it's one of those things that we consciously say, oh, I had this gut, I should have followed my gut, or I should have followed my first mind, which it would be your gut. Your gut gives you a feeling. It's your intuition telling you to do this thing or that. And then that feeling travels up to your brain, and your brain starts to rationalize that feeling. Okay, well, why are you feeling this way? And it starts to put you in that state of duality, right? You thinking left brain, right brain. Do I go with this feeling, or do I go with what seems rational? And then you do what seems rational, and you find yourself in a mess of trouble because you didn't go with your first mind, which was your gut. And your heart then tells you, well, don't beat yourself up about it. Just remember this the next time and follow that gut feeling. It's okay to send it up to your brain and think about it, but don't think about it too long. Because what's the saying? Study long, study wrong, or something like that, something to that effect. If you think about it too much, you will have rationalized it so much to the point where you completely forgot about that first feeling, and now you just down this rabbit hole of scenarios, right? Um, but just keep in mind that tomorrow, 8/11, is a true Lionsgate. It is a spiritual awakening that we are all going through, and with um, Jupiter, the largest planet in the solar system, and being the planet of spirituality, going direct on a date where we will have four of our main planets being in Leo, which is about love and um, leadership and oneness with self. Tomorrow is a big deal. It is a true Lion's Gate. Okay. And I also wanted to say quick, um, we always give um, the moon such a hard time in tarot, right? We'll say, like, it's things that are hidden, and um, you might, it's something you might not be seeing. If we do like a reading, when you go get a reading in tarot, we'll say, if the moon card pops out, oh, um, it's something that it's something that's hidden and something you might not be seeing, or um, some truth that's not being shown. And the sun is illuminating, right? Well, I find that to be false, because the sun, when you think about it, can be blinding. You're told not to stare into the sun. If you think about days when you're driving or even walking, um, the sun is so blinding that you have to let down that visor so that you can see the road in front of you, or you have to put on shades so that you can see. And God forbid it's snow on the ground, because then you're really not going to be able to see, right? So the sun can be blinding. It might show you everything surrounding you, but it blinds what's immediately in front of you. Where with the moon, and also with the sun, you are projecting a persona during the day. You have to, most of us tend to default to a certain way of being because of what's said to be acceptable in society, or what's acceptable at work, or and black folks especially, we will change our vernacular and how we speak when we get around certain people, because we don't want to seem unintelligent. um, that's the thought. If we speak a certain way, then we must not be educated, right? Even though it's false. So we put on these certain personas when we out up during the day. Well, when the moon starts to roll around, right, you become more relaxed. You turn more into yourself. Um, you become your true nature, because you don't feel like you have to project a certain persona. It's the nighttime you can start to be at ease. And then with the moon being out, the moon definitely illuminates, but it illuminates what's right in front of you, and you can see it more clearly because the other things around you aren't distracting you. It's not so bright that you can't see what's right before you, and what's right before you is more important than everything else that is surrounding you, that is out in the world, because what's right before you is what's imminent. It's the right now. It's what's closest to you, so you need to see it right now. And what do we teach in the spiritual or the conscious community? Be in the now. You have to be in your right now. So where you might be out in the sun, and the sun is illuminating everything around you, you can see everything. So you looking up to the future, you look into the past, you look into the left, you look into the right, and you can see everything. Where when you are in the moonlight, you can look around and you can see a certain distance, but you can't see everything. There are things hidden, definitely. There are things hidden, but those things that are hidden are not imminent. They're not important to the right now, because right now what's important is what is closest to you. What can do you the most harm? What can do you the most good in this right now moment? So the moon kind of gets a bad rap as far as you not being able to see. And I think you can see far better in the moonlight, because you are at ease and you're able to think clearly, because you're not projecting something. You don't have to be around people. You are not all over the place trying to achieve tasks. Now, you have people who are night owls, myself being one of those, but I still find that I can get more accomplished at night. My creativity is better under the moonlight than it is under the sunlight. And, you know, I said in a previous video about something to the effects of nothing, there's nothing new under the sun. And that is because it is created in the moonlight. The newness comes in the dark, it comes in the moonlight. Everything that was created started in darkness, and then it was sent out into light. And eventually, it goes through cycles when it reaches the light and it dies. So the light can sometimes be the very thing that kills. Okay, you think about being in the sunlight and the sun blinds you and you swerve off into something because you couldn't really see, and now, you know, you are no more in this physical plane, right? Okay, but that's a whole other story for a whole other time. So that's really what I just wanted to put out there and let y'all know to really expect some intense energies tomorrow. You're gonna be questioning a whole lot, and expect some surprises to visit you from the past, some things that you might have been trying to create or you know um, bring into fruition, and all of that. It's going to come up um, because you have Uranus going retrograde, and again, that's the planet of originality. So it might be some stuff that comes up about who you are on a personal level, and that self-awareness. You know, keep in mind it's an 11. 11 being that spiritual number that is about self-awareness, right? Okay, I'm about to be 30 minutes in. I was trying not to make this long. So I hope that was helpful information. Thank you all for tuning in. If you would like to schedule any type of appointment with me concerning tarot readings, numerology readings, to do any personality assessments, or just general coaching, to get some general coaching with something you might need help getting off the ground, or some blocks that you might need help clearing up, reach out to me at consciouslyunconscious.me and schedule an appointment, and I will holler at y'all in the next one. Thanks for tuning in.